Which celebrity do you suspect is pure evil in private? Mario Lopez. He's all love and light on Instagram, but he's a sneaky, selfish, manipulative person that consistently treats the crew around him like trash. Unfortunately, I don't suspect this. I've seen it firsthand. I'm constantly surprised when I meet people that think there is anything nice about him. He's a slimeball. Joel Osteen. Dan Gett and the Van Schneider. There's a YouTuber named Slow4M that has a long series going in detail about all the sketchy shoot Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon in general have pulled with all the child actors, and it's actually freaking terrible when you look into it. It's definitely worth a watch. Just to add to it, Nickelodeon should be up there as one of the most evil companies ever, as they have multiple known pedophiles in their team and even re-employed them after getting out of jail for molesting kids on the Nickelodeon sets. Michelle Duggar. I've always been suspicious of Jim Bob. I have a feeling he has worse skeletons in his closet than Josh. Just better at not getting caught. Dr. Phil for sure. There was an episode in the early 2000s featuring the mother of a missing girl named Natalie Holloway. They claimed to have confessions from the killers on tape. He showed that poor mother a completely edited conversation with the suspected murderers that made it seem like a true confession. Later on, they were called out on straight-up lying and editing the tape. Not to mention all those countless teenagers he sent to outdoor rehabilitation bullshit. The horror stories that have come out of those rehabs is disgusting. He doesn't care about these people at all. They're profit to him. Any celebrity that's in Scientology. Tyra Banks. Yeah, she sometimes seemed genuinely unstable on ANTM. Just had these occasional weird aggressive moments for no reason. Darman. I'm aware he's not quite a celebrity, but still, something's really off about him. You'll instantly regret saying this. He's gonna appear in the next Darman video. Leah Michelle. Mean Girl vibes for sure. Hopefully Ghislaine Maxwell will give us the full list before she kills herself. Find you a woman who supports your dreams. Jeffrey Epstein. True love is finishing each other's sentences. Dr. Phil. The way he handles kids, sending them to abusive care facilities, and how in a lot of his cases he does more harm than good for the kids. Like the old boomer beat your kids mentality with just enough psychobabble to be dangerous and most of the time wrong. He doesn't even have a license to practice. Gwyneth Paltrow. Because of her goop products that are actually bad for health and she is still promoting them to people. Dr. Phil. Porcine beady-eyed sociopath. The sicker they are, the more he dives in. I do not watch his show, but every time I've watched him be interviewed on late-night shows, he comes off as someone barely holding in his own rage. He seems to have no concept of comedy and zero ability to self-deprecate. If there's a bit or a joke that involves him, he looks like his brain is going a mile per minute trying to figure out if he's being targeted, and always seems moments away from bursting into self-important outrage. I've always got the feeling that he's probably horrible to be around for long periods of time. The issue is, instead of being actually helpful and offering real solutions, he tells them their life is worthless if they're not working and that all their problems are personal more failings and blah blah blah. There's video essays on this shoot that are infinitely better than me if you're still confused. Steven Seagal. For starters, he's creepy and scary even on TV and LN interviews. He's not scary in like a big softy way, but a creepy teacher way. I don't know if he has controversy already, but it really feels like he does. I've been scary for 47 years. Seagal, probably, according to Tom Segura. Bill never mind, cosplayer. Jared Leto. He's pretty bad in public. I don't think he's hiding anything. True a-hole. My best friend is a booking manager in the music industry. Booked Leto's band for a show. Was a complete a-hole to every single employee at the venue and wouldn't pay money owed to the venue 4 months after the show. Wasn't he exposed or arrested for something super illegal? I could be misremembering, but I swear he was involved in something fairly recently. Jeffree Star. He is pure evil in public too. He told my friend at Warped Tour he wouldn't take a pic with her because she was too fat. Kylie Jenner. Making billions while not paying poor garment workers in Bangladesh. I guess that's a secret. Damn, I just mentioned Kendall plus Kylie not paying the garments workers in Bangladesh in the middle of a pandemic. In this economic study circle, factories were facing a severe liquidity crunch, with the women who make our clothes placed in the most vulnerable situation, no longer receiving pay, despite having already done the work. These women are quite literally at risk of starving to death for frick's sake. Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo. I've heard she is super demanding and shooty towards her help. I've heard this too. I knew a girl who worked for one of the big luxury fashion stores in New York and said J-Lo and A-Rod were the worst celebrities they ever had to deal with. But wait, isn't she still the same old Jenny from the block? Remember, don't be fooled by the rocks she got. Maybe that was when she just started to blow up and hadn't yet reached icon status. Pretty much most internet influencers. Armie Hammer is allegedly a cannibal, which must have made failing the audition for the role of Hannibal Lecter particularly disappointing. Sorry, we just don't buy you as a cannibal. Funny you should say that. Kind of like O.J. Simpson not getting cast in Terminator. Cameron objected to Simpson's casting because he felt the ex-football player was too nice and wouldn't be believable as a killing machine like the T-800 inches. Mark Zuckerberg. They said in secret, if it came to light that he was actually, legitimately an alien come here to learn about humanity, I would accept it fully. Steve Jobs. Probably controversial opinion, but read about Apple Lisa. He told the mother of his first child he had had a vasectomy and therefore the child couldn't be his. She had to support herself and the baby alone and ended up moving to a commune. All while he was raking in the dough, naming the computer the name of the child he denied fathering and starting a new family with children. It irks me that we put such a terrible man on a pedestal. I 100% believe Tom Cruise is a serial killer and Scientology provides him his victims and covers it up. Drake the type of fella to sleep in a race car-shaped bed. My sister is a paramedic, and she is often sent to watch over big singers and secure the area in case of an emergency. She gets to meet a lot of them behind the scenes before the big show. Most of them are arrogant and full of themselves. She tells me terrible stories about how the singers have zero respect for their audience, even though they wouldn't exist without them. Sorry for the terrible English. Graham Norton told a story about a singer or actress, I think singer, he had on his show who asked for 9 dressing rooms. And later the assistant came and asked for another dressing room so the singer could use it to charge her phone in there. He never revealed the name though. A lot of wacky divas out there. Pretty much the only reason I want to get famous is so I can go on Graham Norton's show. I am here to just read tea about celebrities. Steve Harvey. Lord, give us back Bernie Mac and we'll give you Steve Harvey. I think James Corden. Oh wait, he's not evil. He's just a talentless twat. Oprah Winfrey. I used to work for a private aircraft company and had the mispleasure of having Oprah on a charter flight. We were used to having a lot of difficult and diva clients, but Oprah was, far and away, the worst and most difficult client we had ever had. She was so difficult and high maintenance that the CEO told us she was not welcome back on another flight. So future requests from her team were met with schedule conflicts on our end. I lived in OKC in 1995 when the federal building was bombed. My military dad was assigned as Oprah's bodyguard when she came to offer her condolences or whatever. He came home and said, "Goddamn, Oprah's itch." Apparently she just ordered him around all day like he was her personal assistant, even though she had her own assistant right there with her. It was all bring me coffee, bring me water, bring me food. This chair is uncomfortable. Tell them to stop looking at me. Get rid of those cameras. The thing is he wasn't allowed to actually do any of these things. His orders were standing guard, not gopher. He said a lot of no ma'am. I don't know, James Franco gives me weird vibes. Jeff Bezos, CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964. Jeffrey Bezos. Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way. Put your back into it. Chrissy Teigen. Not a secret. She tried to convince a teenage bride who was being abused to kill herself on Twitter repeatedly for like several years. Then fake apologized and cried about being cancelled for being a monster. I never knew that. Googled and found a couple stories about it. Oh my god, those tweets were just horrible. And she was messaging her too. Just awful. We had a chat about what if David Attenborough was actually evil, and as soon as the cameras were off he'd go and shave pandas, kick baby penguins across the ice and punch sea turtles right in their turtly faces for fun. It was very upsetting to think about. When my dad was a teacher in the early 90s, he worked at school with pretty rough work-class background. One of his students wrote to David just asking for advice when it comes to getting into natural history as a career. She hears nothing for weeks until a letter arrives back. David wrote to her a beautifully handwritten 8-page reply full of advice and just discussing his experience in the field. Demi Lovato. Tom Cruise, who I wouldn't be surprised if it came to light that he was a serial killer and was involved in Shrek's trafficking. Something about him just seems so fake and off. Well, he is a Scientologist, so do you know who else I just found out is a Scientologist? Elizabeth Moss, from The Handmaid's Tale. Is it irony or what? Jerry Seinfeld always struck me as a sociopath. He's just insanely arrogant and not at all in an endearing way. L&D. There's something in the eyes. Dude, she's already been exposed for being a POS.